goal today is to summit Mount Moosilauke, which is the first 4,000-foot mountain on this trail. And I think the total summit's over 4,800 feet, but about 8.1 miles from parking spot to parking spot. And we'll see how it goes. The thing that's really interesting about climbing Moosilauke is that every like 50 feet to 100 feet, you have a line of rocks that cross the trail. This is designed to divert the water off the trail when it's raining to keep the trail from washing out. Pretty cool. I'm about halfway up the mountain. Got passed by one hiker that's probably about half my age, but that's okay. We're gaining all the time. More of a breeze as we get closer to the top, but no views yet. I've crossed 3 different brooks. Okay, I'm about 2/3 up the south peak of Moosilauke. If you've heard of endless breadsticks, think of endless stairway, like a stairway that never ends. Pretty much what it's like. Well, I made it to the summit of Mount Moosilauke, and actually the south peak, and not sure about the actual peak, how that will look. It's pretty cloudy. No views from the south peak because of the clouds. But I'm stopping, having a little lunch, and then I'll tell you about the descent because I've heard that it is brutal. So we'll see how it goes. When they talk about the trail being challenging, you better believe it. It's like climbing up a field of boulders that were all attached to a ladder. This will give you an idea why the views from the very top of Moosilauke are not that good. It just gets clouded in real fast. Well, I'm going to close out the video here before I get to where there's more people. Had a great day today. Kind of tough summiting a big mountain, kind of cold turkey, but now we're coming down the mountain and went very, very well. Very happy, no issues. So until tomorrow. Something you might not know about me, I love languages. I've been fascinated with them since I was a child. The origin of words, etymology, it all just, I love it. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, back on trail. The goal today is to climb Mount Wolf and then the Kinsman's, which it's South Peak and then Kinsman itself. So I'll give you progress along the way. Pretty much have my phone put away the first little bit because the climb immediately is a killer. They say that your skin is a giant filter system for your body. Well, my filter system is wet climbing up Mount Wolf. And just stop to take a breather and drink a little water. Kind of interesting, these flat spots, these bogs between the mountains have logs so that you can stay out of the bog. Good idea. Made it to the top of Wolf Mountain, and there's a few views through the trees, but it's still clouded in pretty good. A little bit of morning fog. The word for today is muddy. Everything is muddy. I made 2 adjustments today to my equipment. One of them was that I went with a lighter pair of shoes. They say that 1 pound on your feet is like 5 pounds on your back. And I'm definitely feeling the difference today with my legs. using lighter shoes. And when I was coming down into Kinsman Notch, that descent is really brutal. And I bent one of my poles almost in half. So had to run to the store yesterday evening and get another set of poles. Didn't want to have poles that were mismatched. So still learning how to use these new poles, and it's going okay. Something you may not know about me, I hate spiders of any kind. There are no good spiders except dead spiders. Made it to the power lines, and that's the mountain that I have to climb. Well, I'm going to finish out my video. It's about 6:20 and I have about 1.5 miles to go. So I would really like to get the move here. Can't do that with the camera on. But thank you for watching the video and stay tuned. The next video is going to be the presidential range, which has its own set of challenges. But today was not without its challenges. Did Wolf Mountain, South, and Maine Kinsman. Today's kind of a big day. Today's the day that I'm going to start Franconia Ridge. And what that means is that I'm packing a lot of water because I'm going to go almost 8 miles without any water. But I want you to see these views that start us off today. Gorgeous river views. There's the expressway. This is the last source of water for about 8 miles. So you really have to think about your water supply before you head forward from here. Just came to the top of Liberty Mountain and found good water at the campsite, tent site. But I chose to not summit the mountain for the view because of the day that I have today. It's gorgeous and sunny. So I know that I'm going to be able to get some incredible views on Franconia Ridge today. So bypass that, it had been like 0.4 miles, maybe almost a half a mile, but decided that the views today outweigh what I would see up on Liberty. So able to resupply some water, back to full on my water, and that has to take me all the way to the end of today. So thanks for joining on this adventure. A lot of the trail is narrow like this. So if you hear somebody coming up behind you, or somebody's coming the other way, it's always courteous trail etiquette to just step out of the way, let them pass you if they want, or get around you if they're coming your way. This is the top of Little Haystack Mountain, and it's a great spot because it allows you to see all of the views. And that mountain right in front of me is the mountain that I just climbed. It's called Mount Liberty. I climbed that about 3/4 of a mile back. So what a view. Top of Little Haystack Mountain. Well, it's a gorgeous day. It's probably mid-70s. The wind is fairly low and the views are unbelievable. So I made it up to the top of Little Haystack Mountain. And now, see that peak up there? That is Mount Lafayette. That's over 5,000 feet. And I am headed up to that next. As you can tell, this trail is a little rocky, but we're getting there all the time. Okay, time for something that you may not know about me. I do not mind eating food that has fallen on the floor. I was just hiking up the trail and somebody lost a peanut M&M. But it's mine now, baby. All right, this is take two. I'm at the top of Lincoln Mountain. Had to delete a little previous segment because of some brain damage and thinking I was on Lafayette, but we're not there yet. All right, this view is from the top of Lafayette, and I assure you that no Frenchman named Lafayette ever climbed this, ever. Only crazy hiker dudes. That's the top of Mount Lafayette. Top of Mount Garfield, and that is a view of all the different mountains that I climbed over today. Gorgeous day to do Franconia. Well, I'm going to close out my video for today. Did some pretty big climbs. Climbed up Haystack, climbed over Lincoln, Lafayette, then down into a dip, and then made it over Garfield. And now I'm working my way down off of Garfield to a place called the Galehead Hut. So need all hands on deck here. As soon as I find a little stealth spot, I'm going to take it and see what tomorrow brings. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Back on trail this morning, trying to make it to Crawford Notch. So we'll see how it goes. It's about a 14-mile day, so we'll just see what we can get done. The difference on the trail, once you switch off of Franconia Ridge to Garfield Ridge, seems to be that the rocks are more angular, and that makes the climbs and descents a little more technical because you don't want to slip and cut yourself. Yesterday, ascending Garfield, China and Pathfinder were super helpful to give me a little push, a little encouragement getting up to the top. And then had a great visit with Appleseed at the water source just south of that, near the shelter. Something that you may not know about me is that when I was in high school, I took 2 years of karate. All the rage when I was in high school was Taekwondo, but the dojo that I joined did Mudu Kwan, which is Japanese for sweating a lot. It was about 10% form and 90% exercise. My sensei, his name was Herman. His wife was also a black belt, and it was tremendous. I learned a lot of personal self-discipline, and I still have my outfit from when I was in karate. Doesn't quite fit like it used to, but I'm getting close. This is the top of Twin Peaks, kind of a challenging climb, but nice 360 view of all of the mountains here. And this is the beginning of the Garfield Ridge. This looks like sidewalk, but it's solid granite. And then we have some little boardwalks in between. I am up and over Mount Zealand, and really the view there was not that good. Had trees all the way around it. Well, I'm running low on battery, so I'm going to wrap up my video here. I have a few miles to go to hit Crawford Notch, but had a great day hiking today. Hiked over some mountains that were not as impressive as yesterday's, but still incredible views and a great day on the trail, a whole lot cooler, for which I was thankful. Thank you so much for following, and I sure appreciate each of you who've subscribed. Back on trail this morning, got dropped off at the Glen Cliff parking area, and this morning the goal is to be positioned to go over Mount Washington tomorrow. Not going to do it today, but I'd like to knock out 6-7 miles today. It'll be probably some of the steepest climbs, but then that'll give me fresh legs in the morning to get up and over Washington. I wanted to do it yesterday, but the weather was not favorable, and actually picked up a couple hikers while I was taking my 0 day, and they agreed that the weather factor made it extremely difficult. So that's the task today, is to do Webster. Going to do, I think, Pierce, several of the other presidentials, starting into the presidentials today, and we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. I'm headed up what's called the Webster Cliffs Trail, where there'll be some nice views. One thing that has not ceased to amaze me on this hike is the size of the boulders that are laying out in the woods. I'm guessing at some point these fell off the mountain. This boulder in particular, at least the part you can see out of the ground, is almost 20 feet tall on the backside. I've been climbing non-stop since I got off the parking area, and while you may not appreciate it, but I'm going to hold the camera straight and you can understand by the angle of the ground how steep this is, and by the looks of it, there's a way to go. Something that you may not know about me is that when I was a child, one of my most embarrassing moments was that my mom would dress me in corduroy pants. I had large legs, so when I walked down the road, you could hear me coming. Whiff, 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 whiff. Thank you, Mom. Also, I'm thankful that I never caught on fire. I don't know how many times I'll say this today, but the views are just outstanding. Okay, made it to the top of Mount Jackson, and that is only because of some help from Footloose. But I said this earlier, what an incredible day today. The weather's just gorgeous. The clouds are kind of playing in and out with the peaks, but getting there all the time. There she is, first view of Mount Washington today. Made it to the bog. There are no moose, there are a few hikers, and a lot of mud. Made it to Mizpah Hut. Okay, made it to the top of Mount Pierce and didn't die. So that's always good. Being alive is good, because if I died up here, there's really no way I could be buried. I'd have to do a sky burial, which is when you cut somebody into little pieces and the birds basically take care of stuff. So the next is a little loop around Eisenhower. We'll touch in there. That is Mount Eisenhower right there. This is a little view of Mount Washington, and you can see on the corner the Lake of the Clouds, and the hut's right next to it, but pretty soon the top of Washington is going to get clouded in. Lake of the Clouds hut. Well, I'm going to close out the video. I made it to Lake of the Clouds hut and just checked in with the caretaker. He said that he has one bunk left and that he would give it to me. And he said in the morning, if I help clean up, that he would also serve me breakfast for free. So I'm so excited about that. I have a bunk down in what they call the dungeon, and that's a big answer to prayer. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following along. Thank you for subscribing, those of you who have subscribed. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow morning, I will summit Mount Washington. Good morning. I'm at the AMC Hut, Lake of the Clouds. Incredible place. And having a cup of coffee. When the clouds clear out just a bit, I'm going to summit Mount Washington, and that'll bring me to the end of this portion. All right, headed up Mount Washington this morning and want to get this in before it gets too windy. Something that you may not know about me is I hate things that stick in my teeth. I don't like any kind of like Starburst or taffy or even peanut butter. I just don't like anything that sticks in my teeth. Worst weather in America. Forecast for Mount Washington today, cloudy, very windy. It's 38 degrees on top. Well, I made it all the way to the summit. I'm in the gift shop, going to get something to eat, and then I'm going to get a shuttle down. Really unable to catch any views or talk on trail because it was so extremely windy, like 60-mile-an-hour gusts, but made it safe and sound, and I really appreciate your following, your commenting, and watching the journey. Today was a toughie. They say that one of the greatest abilities is flexibility, and when I checked the shuttle schedule, they're short-staffed on shuttle drivers, so there is no shuttle going down till 2 o'clock, maybe. So I looked at the mileage on the auto road and decided that I would hike the auto road down. I'm on the back side of a little cliff here, so I'm getting a little wind protection. The wind is brutal, but the views are outstanding. So, a little switcheroo in my plans, but that's to be expected when you're hiking.